Hey, what's up there? This is Rahuru New Nefer, and I am back from Colombia. It was a very, very good trip. I loved it. The only thing is coming back, I was on a rather long flight for some reason, and everyone on the flight seemed to be coughing, and some ridiculous woman changed her baby's diaper in back of me, and the smell was horrendous. And I'm sitting there thinking, why couldn't you just go to the lube, the bathroom? It just didn't make any sense. And it just seems like it was contagious too on the plane. It's like people, one person cough, another person cough, and then the guy next to me start coughing. And oh my God, the guy next to me, he's a nice guy from Brazil, but he just kept wanting to have a conversation with me. And I got confused because, you know, I'm talking Spanish to him and he didn't seem to understand because which I knew he probably wouldn't because he speaks Portuguese. And then I would switch to English and then he would say, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little." And then when I started speaking Spanish, he started to understand, which was weird. That's just strange. It was weird. I don't know what to make of that. But anyway, he was a nice guy, but he just like wanted to have conversations with me in Portuguese. And I'm like, dude, you know I don't speak Portuguese, so why are you trying to have a conversation with me in Portuguese? You know what I mean? It was funny as all heck. And good news is like on my last flight from Colombia, which was about a month ago, they didn't have any vegan um, options. They just had like chili with meat. And what was the other one? The other one was chili with meat. And I think the other one was some type of burger or meatloaf or something. And I was really upset, because you pay all that money and I can't even get a dinner. Well, this time the really peculiar thing was on this trip to Colombia, all I ate was pasta because the hotel had a really nice restaurant, and I would order the pasta every day. And after a couple of days, it kind of knew I was eating the same thing, so they would have it prepared nicely and bring it up to my room, which was pretty cool. But anyway, on the flight, they had these options of meals that you could get. I knew they had options, but I didn't know what the meals were. So when the guy gets to me on the flight, he hands me the dinner tray. And I'm like, okay, you didn't give me the options like you give everybody else. So you didn't, like you told them what's available and they picked which one they want. You're just giving me something. And I looked and I said, well, what is this? He goes, pasta. I said, what? He goes, pasta. And I'm like, no, it's too good to be true. So I grab it, open it up, and I'm inspecting it to make sure it has no meat in it. And lo and behold, it has zero meat. And I was like, oh, I was so happy. But their salad was the flight salad was awful. The guy next to me loved the salad, but I didn't like the salad. And in Colombia at the hotel, I think it's called Wyden. I'll get the name for you guys. So you guys got to stay there. They had the greatest salad I've ever had the opportunity to eat. It was a like garden salad with fruit in it. Now I've had salad with fruit in it, but this was great. It had fruit, it had nuts. It's like a vegetarian's dream salad, and I kept eating that thing every night. I love this so much. So and like I said, the pasta was good. The only thing I was upset about was I kept eating it every night. I said, I know I'm going to be gaining a ton of weight. I'm going to have a pot belly. Have to go to the gym when I get back. Well, anyway, I'm back, but the fun never ends. So I'm doing this broadcast to let you know about the next event that we have going on. So it's going to be Brazil in February for Carnival. And but before that, the most exciting thing, of course, is New Year's. So I have the New Year's or the Las Vegas New Year's experience. That's right. You can sign up for that, and there's going to be a limited amount of people I'm going to take with me because when I'm teaching, I don't want to teach to a massive amount of people. You don't get one-on-one, treatment. You just, so I want to make sure that I'm really catering to every individual and giving them the most of my attention. So it's called the Las Vegas New Year's Experience. It's going to be from, I think, December 30th to January 1st, 2023. Now, um, I've spent New Year's in New York and in Vegas, and Vegas is a lot better. New York, watching that ball drop, you are freezing, you know, and every place is expensive to go into. But Vegas, you can get into the high quality clubs. You just got to pay for the ticket. And it is exciting. If you have never been to New Year's in Vegas, you don't know what you're missing. It is like the most awesome experience you can have. You're literally going to stay up the entire night because there's going to be so much for you to do. So I want you to put that on your calendar. The link is in the description box. Click on that link, check it out, and sign up for it before it's too late. Like I said, it's 3 days. Seating is limited, and you're going to get like an intense amount of training on how to go to these clubs, meet women, form relationships, and much, much more. I'm not going to tell you. But I'm giving away a lot of my techniques for club game. You see these armchair quarterback dating coaches that are online now. All they're doing is reading books and watching each other's videos and regurgitating. They don't have any field experience or real world experience. I do, you know. So I think they're a bunch of phonies. And I challenge them to come to the madness of Vegas and just see how well they can cope. Because the first time I came, it was overwhelming and too much for me. Because if you imagine just being in the most condensed club ever and you're not able to move freely, add to that crazy lights and sounds and music and the experience of beautiful women all over everywhere. That's too much for some people, especially newbies. You don't know what to do. And there's such an abundance of women. Who do you talk to first? How do you talk to them? Because the music is so loud. We're going to cover all of that in the New Year's Las Vegas experience. You just have to sign up for it. Also, when I was in Colombia, there were a group of girls there in the hotel. And I remember one was very, very pretty. And I would talk to her, but I wouldn't see her much. Then on my last day, I saw the girls and I said, goodbye, I'm leaving. As I was walking away, one of the girls approached me and said, I think her name was, I got to look at my phone now. What is her name? Sorry about that. Look, I don't remember her name. That's funny. Her name, is exactly what I thought it was. It was Karen. Well, anyway, sorry. One of the girls approached me as I was leaving and said, Karen wants you to take her number. I said, oh. So I turned around. Karen came up to me. She grabbed my phone and she put her number in, but there was a complication. So her girlfriend actually did it because she knew how to do the whole WhatsApp thing. So I took it and said goodbye and left. But I had prepped all of that because while I was talking to Karen for about a week, like I said, I didn't see her that much. I was always gaming her by just, busting her balls, being funny, but never overtly showing too much interest. And I knew she had to be feeling me in some way because I'm all that, you know what I mean? So when I left, I said something to her in Spanish. And I said it very sensually. I said, I love you. And then that's when I walked away and her friend ran up to me It was like, Karen wants you to take her number. And I was like, oh, okay, Karen. And I'm like, damn, why didn't you just tell me this earlier? Like you were feeling me, and we could have made beautiful music together. But it's okay, cool. I'm going to be coming back. And the mistake that I made in my younger years when I was gaming girls was I would get the numbers and, I would sleep with them and then I would never call them. So I was sleeping with all these girls in Germany, Spain, and just never calling them. And then one night, I think it was either Christmas or New Year's, I was alone. And I realized I had made a big mistake in not maintaining some type of relationship with these girls. So I changed that. And what happened was this: when I was, the holidays would come around, I was alone, I would text one of the girls and she'd be like, oh, I'll get a flight. I'm coming out there to see you. One of them came out for my birthday. And I was like, oh man, this is like beautiful. Why didn't I do this like years ago? And there's some I even talk to on Facebook or Instagram. But this is part of what I'm going to be teaching at the Las Vegas New Year's experience, which is social circle game. Because I'm going to be honest with you, you cannot do this whole thing of approaching different women for the rest of your life. You're going to need a nice social circle of beautiful women that you can have on rotation. That's really the best thing to do, where you can just call one of them up and they're going to come over and make you a dinner, or, you know what I'm saying, or fly in from Germany. That's what you want. You don't want to have to always go out to a bar or have to fly overseas. You want to have it so those ladies come to you. And I'm just one word of advice on this, because of all those girls who came here to see me, I never paid for their tickets. Don't ever pay for a girl's ticket. If she starts that about like, oh, I don't have any money, drop her, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And these are just experiences from buddies that I've talked with. You'll pay the girl's ticket to come here, and she'll end up disappearing on you for 1 or 2 nights, and she'll be screwing some other guy. So just be very careful with that. You don't want to do that. In fact, one girl did do that. I didn't pay for her ticket, but she came here, and the first 2 days, she never really, I couldn't even reach her. And then the third day, she texted me and said, okay, let's go out. And I'm like, you know what? F you. And I didn't say it like that, but I was just like, and blocked her. But I told her, I said, listen, no. It don't work like that. When you come here, you see me first. You don't go to some guy and get and F him first, and then I'm going to be sloppy seconds or whatever that is. So I was like, no. I was like, psh. Now, you can only do that if you live in the world of abundance, and most men don't. Because a lot of men I meet, they're just really, really thirsty. They're desperate. So if she texts you 2 or 3 days later and says, let's go out, you're like, okay. Nah, man, I was just like, nah, see you later. And the next day, she texted me again and said, all right, we'll do anything you want. And I was like, no, bye, click. And that was it. You know what I mean? And the hard thing was too, she was bisexual. So I was like, could be throwing away an opportunity for a threesome, but no, I was, I don't go for, disrespect. And the last thing I'll say on this, very important, you got to weigh things. I remember when I was studying with a very prominent dating coach, he says, never buy a woman a drink. And I was with this model, and she ordered a drink and I didn't pay for it. And that created a situation. You have to think in terms of contextual thinking, relational thinking. That rule should not be a hard and fast rule. you know. So I blew it with that situation. You know what I mean? So just be flexible. Learn how to read a situation and then adjust accordingly. You know what I mean? Don't ever take something I say as written in stone, but learn to use your brain and evaluate the situation and say, hey, you know what? It's better if I do pay for this dinner. You know what I mean? Because there's a really 99.9% chance that I'm going to get laid. But you trying to be cool and stuff and not paying for the dinner will cause a situation, and you don't want to do that. You just you don't want to have to like get into an argument over something as kind of like trivial as that. You know what I mean? So kind of like, I forgot why I brought this subject up, but yeah, just like the thing I was saying. Oh yeah, in this situation where I told the girl to go to hell, even though she flew in to see me, but she went to some other guy to polish his pole and then looked at me at sloppy seconds. Now, if she was a straight up 10, like model type, supermodel type, I probably would have bit the bullet and then went out with her. But at best, she was like a 7+. So I was like, nope, not gonna like, you know, disrespect myself for a 7. But like I said, if she's like supermodel 10, they're these women who are these 10s are used to, in a way, getting their way. So you're gonna may have to accommodate her in some instances, not every instance, but some. One of the greatest things I did when I met this woman, she was Black or ADOS or African American, whatever you call it. She was straight up hot. She was tall too, much taller than me. I just kept busting her balls the entire night. And I noticed the more I did that, the more in love she was with me. And I was like, wow, and she had no qualms about letting me know that she was feeling me like that. Every time I would like point out something like a flaw in her and not pay her attention, this woman was into me. So I want you just to think about that. Think about that. Other times, a woman who's a 10, you may not want to bust her chops that much because some of them like to be complimented or may have insecurities. You know what I mean? But anyway, I wouldn't know how I got into that subject. So, Las Vegas New Year's experience, 3 days packed full of training on how to meet women, approach them, take it to the next level. You'll see on the website when you go there tons of information on what you're going to get. And like I said, this is real world experience, not something you're getting for those armchair quarterback dating coaches who never come outside of their mother's basement. I don't mean to sound negative, but these guys have been scamming young Padawans. These guys have no experience. And you'll come to find that many already have had girlfriends and been in a relationship for like 4 or 5 years or married. How in the heck are you going to give somebody advice on dating or getting laid when you have been in a long-term relationship or you are married? You see, game is something that you have to work on. And I mean the inner game and the outer game. And I hate to use that term, but So, at this Las Vegas New Year's experience, you're not going to just get outer game or outer coaching. We're going to go deep into the inner game, the mindset, because that's where it starts and that's where it ends. Because if you have a scarcity mindset, you're going to fail with women and with relationships, especially. I got into the relationship with this model. She even took me to the newsstand and pulled out the magazine and showed me her spread in the magazine. Not spreading her legs though, but you know what I mean, the magazine spread. And I was like, wow, this girl's legit. And when I was with her, I was nervous because I had not worked on my inner game. I was not living in a world of abundance. I wasn't used to being with a 10 plus. I hate to use those numbers, but you know what can you do? So I eventually she dumped me. Actually, she eventually dumped me because something happened to where we were on the street and a hobo was kind of like approaching her and checking her out. And I didn't do anything to protect her or to assist her. And that's a big no-no with women. When they see that you can't be a provider or protector, you can forget it. So she dumped me on Halloween. I remember that because we were both going to work on our costumes and all that. But you know, and that was a time in my life where I said, I don't blame her because I still have work to do. Many women can't admit that to themselves because they're not used to accountability. They want agency without accountability. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? And I want you to think about something. I don't want you to be the type of guy who settles because a lot of the friends that I have, they're either married or in really serious relationships, right? And when I see those women, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, what did you get that thing? Would it crawled out from under a rock? I'm sorry to be cruel, but they settled. And that's the one thing I can be proud of my life is like, I've never settled, not with my salary, not with my status, not with the type of women I'm with. I wanted a model, supermodel as a girlfriend, and I fulfilled that objective. That's what I wanted. And I worked my ass off to get to that point to where I was so comfortable around her that if she left, it wouldn't be a big thing because I would just pick up my cell phone and call the other girl. And my mind was such in a state of abundance. But let me tell you the secret here, right? I'm gonna tell you a little secret. A lot of guys will tell you that the secret to being with girls is to have the mindset of abundance. No. That's partly true. But the real secret that I found when I was doing my movies, my productions, is that when you are a man who knows what he wants in life, and he doesn't put women first, but he puts his career or his business aspirations first, then you, my friend, are a conqueror. You will have women falling for you because women love a man who has a mission and a purpose and who is chasing that and not putting her first. I love the movie The Founder. Check that movie out. It's a story of Ray Kroc, who created the McDonald's franchise. When Ray Kroc's business was taking off and he was starting to rake in millions of dollars, and the attorney was drawing up, I think it was the divorce papers, really nice scene. They asked him, what do you want to give your wife? Now, she had been very supportive and she was there for him. And he just said, nothing, fuck her. And I was like, whoa. And it showed that he had reached a level to where he was married to his business, married to his career, that she wasn't the first priority in his life. It was the McDonald's franchise that was the priority. And she, I don't know, she came second or third or fourth. That's what you got to do. Guys put too much emphasis on women. You know what? I went overseas when I was in France, and the Europeans have a very different perspective on things. And the society over there, the culture is structured where women aren't placated to. They're not the priority. I've only noticed that here in the States, the culture is focused on the needs of the women. And that's totally wrong, because men are the builders. Men are the innovators. Not that women can't be, they can. But initially, foremost, it has historically been men. So men should be the priority, not the women. Because once we build, once we acquire wealth, we take care of the women. We see to their needs. And so if the society doesn't cater to us, how are we supposed to provide for the women? Because we build the infrastructure, you see. We put everything in place so that women can reap the benefits. If you want to break it down, look at you white men. You've conquered like all these countries all over the world. You've gone there, you've waged war, you've conquered. You come back home and the bounty of your escapades, you build a country where your woman is in the lap of luxury. And you're able to put her on the pedestal and say, this white woman represents the pinnacle of beauty. No other woman could come close to her. That's what white men did. They raped, they pillaged, came back home, built the infrastructure so that everything can be catered to their woman, put her on a pedestal, told her, like, look, you don't have to work. I'll take care of everything. I'll give you designer dresses. I'll give you an easy life. All you got to do is spread your legs and make me a sandwich. So if men are not supported, then things fall apart. That's why this country is a bit backwards. And I'm going to teach you all this at the Las Vegas New Year's experience. What are you waiting for? You shouldn't be listening to me. You should be signing up right now. What's wrong with you? Get your butt over to that site. Register. It's going to be the experience of a lifetime. This is Ra Haru Nu Nefer. Until my next video, remember, you are king.